I'm going to talk briefly about lifestyle or incidental physical activity. So lifestyle or incidental physical activity is defined as non-structured physical activity that you will accumulate throughout your day through various tasks such as walking to and from work or walking to and from public transportation, household chores, and just general day-to-day activities. It is estimated that you can accumulate between 8 and 33 extra minutes of physical activity through walking in your day-to-day activity. The World Health Organization recommends that people engage in 30 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity on 5 days per week. The recommendations had stipulated that this should be accumulated in bouts of no less than 10 minutes. The more recent WHO recommendations from 2020 has revised this based on research over the past number of years. It now appears that any amount of physical activity throughout your day will count towards beneficial physical activity for cardiovascular and other health markers. Now, this is a very encouraging development because for the most part, the activities of daily living do not take a huge amount of additional time. It also is an opportunity to begin to introduce vigorous intensity physical activity. A very simple example of this will be walking very fast or running up a stairs. You often find that after running up a stairs you may be out of breath, and this likely implies that the intensity of that activity was quite vigorous. While before this wasn't considered to be very relevant in terms of health benefits, that is what has changed with the most recent evidence that has emerged. Another way of increasing your incidental or lifestyle physical activity will be to try to increase the number of steps that you do per day. There isn't really an optimum number of steps per day, and the first thing you should probably do is get an average of the number of steps you take per day. It'll depend on your routine and whether or not you have an active job versus a desk job. But once you've established the average number of steps you are taking per day, a good marker of improvement might be to aim for an extra 3,000 steps per day. And even if you don't reach that extra 3,000, you will know that any extra steps will be of benefit to you. If you want those steps to be in the more moderate level of physical activity intensity, which by and large a lot of walking is, you could aim for 100 steps per minute. So a simple way of introducing this to your day-to-day activity might be at lunchtime. If you often go to a coffee shop that's 1 or 2 minutes away from where you work, you could aim to do 100 steps in each of those minutes. And you will quickly begin to accumulate many extra minutes of moderate intensity physical activity.